Hey everyone, this video is a bit later than I normally do it, but I wanted to find some cool stuff that is just insanely good in the preseason so far. Let me know down below what you're playing or what is strong right now, but we've got some newer picks like Nocturne mid, some older returning builds like Conqueror Katarina, and some that are just pretty overpowered really when you stick everything together from the preseason like Olaf. So before we jump into that, I mentioned it the other day, this is kind of like my childhood dream, I guess, being sponsored for Mario Kart, but Xavi have just launched a limited edition Mario Kart capsule, which is up until Sunday. It's all exclusive, limited edition, so you're not going to find this again, but they've got loads of different merch, t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, caps, an exclusive print as well. They also sent me one of the Yoshi number plays, but there are Mario, Peach, Bowser ones, and you can get 30% off using my code down below. So go and check all of that out, the license plates and all of the other merch in the link in the description. So the first one of this video is going to be Nocturne mid. This is a big new trend, and it's sort of kind of settling down a little bit, but he is played everywhere in Korea. It was sort of a pick before this season, not played very much, but a little bit because he could push and roam. It's kind of actually a lot like Talon. Now in preseason, it's mostly Sanguine Blade, honestly. Even after the hotfix, they lowered the attack speed gained and they made it cost more, and it's still really good. You got a decent amount of AD on this. You've got some lifesteal as well, high lethality and attack speed, and honestly, all of those are perfect stats for Nocturne. He can use every single one of them. The passive activates when it's one or fewer enemies, so it means he gets access to this when just sitting mid and pushing, and it makes it very hard to contain him or ever really fight him. His ultimate also gives him very easy access to swoop into other people onto the side, so the passive is definitely going to get used apart from when you're in team fights, but most of the time you're not going to be anyway, not for the first part of the game. After all of this stuff, he's really an assassin, but he's hard to stop. He's better at roaming, and he's way more deadly when he does. Aside from that, it's really lethality stacking, and there's some other stuff you can get, like the Umbral Glaive's really good. Edge of Night is a lot better as well now, but you actually use the Presence of Mind, the new version. I didn't really expect that. He uses a fair bit of mana, but it's not crazy high either. Now, one that I really want to talk about is Olaf, because you kind of like might look at this, glance at it, and think this is nothing different, but actually we've kind of shifted it into way more of a carry Olaf build. He's kind of in the middle, right? But Olaf's play rate has tripled since the Conqueror rework. He wasn't weak beforehand at all, but he's like even better now. He barely has any bad matchups in career, even against the big boys, so he's dominating early game, he's power farming, he ganks well, he invades, and that is literally the new season in a nutshell. You know how sometimes your jungler is like 3 levels behind? That's just not going to happen with Olaf with the experience changes. And if anything, he can actually come out on top. Like if you full clear and you farm again on respawn, you actually get more experience now. The big difference is that he swapped over to more of a carry build as well. So I'm not sure if that is because of the more gold in the jungle or not, but it used to be a lot of Cinderhulk or like Warrior into Righteous Glory. Most of the time now though, it is Warrior, Black Cleaver, and Guardian Angel. So it is way more damage. You run at people, but you actually kill them. This works so much better with the new Conqueror as well, because it stacks up kind of fast, but not insanely fast. But it's online by the time you get to about half health. So you get more attack speed, more healing, your W active, and it's so hard to kill him. The other thing as well that I really want to mention is this is a lot about the dragon system. Like especially with some of the dragon souls, he can be absolutely overpowered. Like Cloud and Ocean especially, he becomes a serious problem, which really helps his late game. Another mid laner that shot up after preseason actually was Katarina, at least if you avoid Fizz, which looks insanely broken right now. Anyway, was like strong in season 9 and just really good now. Even Electrocute is working well, but this build we're looking at is the triple healing one. It's actually quad healing as well if you take into the other runes. First up, we're getting our Gunblade obviously, which is a standard for Katarina. Then we go into our Death Dance, that's healing item number 2, and she has really good AD ratios, that's why we're going to pick up that. Then Ravenous Hunter, and with the reworked Conqueror. So Katarina is melee, she gets 2 stacks every single time, so it gets to 10 super easy, and you get it online before her ultimate, which is a big part. You've then got the 15% healing from Conqueror, you've got 15% from Gunblade, 15% from Death Dance, and 14% from Ravenous. There is a slight little point about this, right? So what keeps Gunblade and Death Dance balanced normally is that it's 33% effective on AoE spells. The thing about Conqueror though is that it's just a flat 15%, so it's healing for 3 times as much as a Gunblade, and you know how good the healing is on that anyway, even just if it's on its own. This build is making her absolutely insane at 2 items, which in preseason is where a lot of the early dragon fights happen, and games can definitely start to spiral a bit more out of control, and that is why she is definitely top tier. Let's talk about center a little bit though. So this is going to be for AD carry first. We're going to look at support a little bit later into the video, but she is the latest champion to hit the Rift, right? Phelios is on its way, I guess, but it's kind of flipped the meta on its head, at least for bot lane. Her win rate looks pretty balanced roughly if you look at like mid-table, mid-leagues, like gold and plat and stuff, but higher up it's actually getting kind of ridiculous as people are learning to play her a bit more as well and how to actually use her. There are lots of different keystones you can use. The one that most people use at the moment is Fleet for Work. You can get like really easy heals off on champions with your 600 range. You you're going to have your bloodline as well, so you have double healing in this, and you can kite a bit better. First up, we have our mana immune, which is really good when it's upgraded, like crazy good, but it helps with your high mana cost, so you can continuously poke, heal, and root as well, and you're not really punished for it. Dustblade though is without a doubt like such a good item on her. With the constant stealth resets from your E, you get a bonus like 30 to 150 physical damage, I think it is, every time you proc it, which really hurts. Senna was designed for lethality, like it's insane on her. Her AD scalings are really good. She's all physical damage. You got 70% on your root, 100% on your ultimate. I think her Q is like 40, 50%, and with your passive as well, stacking AD up, you're going to be hitting a lot harder than you think mid game. After your core build, you go into like Infinity Edge, Rapid Fire Cannon. It might not be essential, like you can go more lethality, but it really rounds out your late game and just makes it a bit stronger. If you don't punish her in lane phase, like if you can't jump on top of her and can't shut her down and can't kill her, then she is going to scale into an absolute monster, especially as an AD carry. Let's move into our top lane for one that is just honestly insanely strong, like probably one of the best champions in preseason at the moment, which is Mordecai at the top. He was played a bit less after the passive nerfs, but then the Conqueror rework came in and it made his win rate spike along with his ban rate as well, and those are increasing every single day. So his passive does a bit less damage now, but Conqueror heals you for a stupid amount when it's stacked up, and this is why it actually is so good. The build is definitely going to help with this. You build it so no one can escape really, right? Protobelt Rush helps you close in on opponents. It helps you wave clear a little bit if you needed that, I guess, and Rylai's as well helps you lock them down. Leandri's makes your passive like really insane. It's so good. Like it's a really good item on him anyway. It amps your damage so much, but like you don't even have to land your Q. You can just run straight at people and start to burn them and slow them. The really good thing about this as well is you can kind of build how you want to after your core items. Like those three are all you really need. Your Q is going to do like bonus 40% damage at rank 5. That's going to work with Leandri's as well, and it makes him so hard to shut down. The cheesy way of doing this is to go like Visage and Deadman's afterwards as a tank, so you just don't die. You have like Conqueror healing, you have your W healing and shielding as well. Taste of Blood, Ravenous. It's like last season, just way better. One of the reasons I wanted to mention it right now in Korea is because I always look at matchups, and right now there are no real weak matchups for Mord. Like you can pretty much pick him every single game. Fiora is a little bit rough honestly, but he's just that good that you can kind of get out of lane and take over. Mord is really popular in Korea at the moment, but one that isn't as popular is Udyr Jungle. He's kind of sharp with the preseason, the new Conqueror, and the new jungle. He's another champion that you can abuse Conqueror on, like Mord and like a lot of others actually here, but he's melee, right? So he gets 2 stacks per also, and the attack speed on your Q with Tiger makes it super easy to get fully stacked at the very start of a fight. People forget as well that his Q has a 185% AD ratio, I think, so all you need is Warrior, and you're going to start to do some serious damage. Trinity Force makes him burst really hard, and Sterix makes it so you can't really kill him either, but if you get close, he's going to run and kite you around, stun and shield. It's just a real pain in the ass. He is actually one of the few junglers who uses Water Walking and Celerity still, but it makes like fighting in the river, contesting dragons, kiting, it just makes that all so much better, so it makes a lot of sense. Sanguine Blade is also super strong on him as well. Extra damage so you can get your ability passives off even faster, boost your Tiger damage even more, and kind of your split push, but also your burst. With the new jungle as well, I think like definitely he's one of the few junglers who isn't going to get nerfed by this at all. Like he can power farm through the whole thing, gank a little bit, and then go back to farming, and that is kind of exactly what he wants to do. There is actually as well a whole different playstyle, by the way, with Blood Razor and Wit's End that is more for objectives or shredding down high health targets. That's more just kind of playstyle which one you want to pick. We're going to go back to Senna quickly here as well, and if she's not taken as AD carry, she'll probably be either banned or she'll be support. Like, there's not really much power difference either. Eri is most common on support, so the keystone is a bit different. It increases her PO damage, which is why it does actually work as AD carry, but it also lets her protect the AD carry or her teammates whilst healing them, which is a bit of a difference. Lethality is still going to be the way you do this, but this time Umbral Glaive is the first one to allow for that vision control while still empowering the rest of her kit, so it's damage but also vision denial like a sweeper. That is actually such a cool thing for supports. Like for Pyke as well, I think it's going to be a really good item, and that definitely leans more to like utility and damage. Dustblade is still really good though, like lethality and AD scale really well with her kit, but you can also have some AP if you want to and go kind of like a hybrid build to bring out her full support potential with like Athenes and a sensor. I think one of the biggest things for support center is her ultimate is just absolutely ridiculous. It's kind of like playing around a Soraka ult, just even worse. She has that constant map pressure, right? And whilst that is up, it's really hard to 1v1 somebody, or you can get baited a lot. And if she lands the damage on her ult, she can easily burst a swishy target and kind of turn that fight around. I actually don't think she's that hard either. Like, she's absolutely insane at higher ranks right now. Once you get a few games under your belt, you're probably feeding those first ones, but after that, she's going to be insanely good. Last up, I really want to talk about Kaiba very quickly because it's back to the Storm Razor build. It's really good for her. The slow is actually awesome anyway, and we can get some crit early. With Rage Blade and Doran's Blade, we will upgrade our Q naturally from base AD around level 10, so that is perfect. With Rage Blade and Berserker Greaves, and I think a little bit of attack speed from runes, we get her E stealth, which is ideal. Very early into the game, much earlier than other builds. At this point, you're basically full power, right? You have your 2 upgrades, the 2 important ones, and the difference now is that at 3 items, you're at 50% crit, and at 4 items with Infinity Edge, you're at 75% crit. That is a normal crit build. That is like Caitlyn kind of build, right? So this preseason means that Kaiba can legit go into a crit build and not have to suffer and sit at 50%, which really sucked before. It makes her late game damage output better, in my opinion. It frees up the 5th slot as well to go defense like Guardian Angel or Zhonya's as well, which is even better as well. The whole build to me just makes way more sense. It's not as good early, maybe because of the mana regen, but especially past 3 items, it pulls away from the AP mana immune version now, and I think Storm Razor is definitely better. Those are the builds that I really wanted to touch on today from Career that I've noticed being a lot better or a lot stronger already. Let me know any others you have down below. Remember to check out the capsule launch. There's a link down below for that as well. But for now, I will leave you with the Robux.